Yeah, Paul, I'm here with former Governor Ben Cayetano. Right now he's at 45%. Governor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You've been through many campaigns, 16 campaigns if you count the primaries, about 18% of the vote in right now. What do you think of your chances of making up that gap and going above 50%?
Well, with 18% of the votes in, we have a shot. You know, I think I told you in our last interview, we had to have a little luck and a big turnout, and it looks like we got a good turnout. But that's very encouraging to hear that only 18% of the vote.
And tell us, Governor, about the enthusiasm level that you felt around town heading into tonight's primary.
Well, I think the best example of how enthusiastic our people are was on Thursday we had a huge sign waving. They brought out 1,100 people. And so, you know, and you could tell from the crowd, I've never had a campaign where the people have been so enthusiastic. And they're coming from all walks of life, you know, all political beliefs. I'm very, very enthused.
If the current numbers hold up, if you add the Carlisle campaign and you add the Caldwell campaign, that gives them 54% of the pro-rail vote. But you have said that you still think that you could pull it out in the general election if it goes that far. Why do you think that you could still go above and pull it out in the general election?
Well, I think it's a mistake to add up their votes and say that Peter is going to get all of Kirk's votes or vice versa. It doesn't work that way. You know, we only need a 5%. And in the general election, Andrew, as you know, the turnout is higher. And in a presidential election, usually there's a lot of Republicans, a lot of independents come out. People who feel that they don't have anything to gain in the primary. We expect to get a lot of those votes, and our strategy would be to get those votes. I think that my opponent, Kirk in particular, he's gotten pretty much the votes that he's going to get.
Earlier this evening, we heard Mayor Carlisle said that regardless of who wins, but if he does lose, that he would go forward with the rail project and try to build out as many columns as possible, perhaps as many as 50 columns. He's in office until January 2nd. What did you think about the mayor making that statement that he would go full bore ahead with rail should he lose?
Well, you know, I think that's a mistake. If I get elected, I'll certainly talk to Peter. You know, he's a reasonable guy, so we'll deal with that when when the issue arises.
When we talked the other day, you mentioned that there are certain clauses in governmental contracts that allows you to cancel those contracts. Explain to our viewers your thinking of how you would go about to actually put a kibosh on the rail project.
Well, usually government contracts have a clause. It's really boilerplate, and it's called a termination for convenience. Give a 30 days notice to cancel the project. And all you have to do is pay them for the work that they've done. We believe that only 1% of the work has been done so far. And it's hard for me to concentrate with this guy cracking jokes in the back. But the question would be whether the mayor or Hart has the authority to exercise that clause.
And Governor, a moment ago when you were up on stage, you said that this audience that's here to support you tonight is a true rainbow coalition. You have folks from all ethnicities, all political stripes joining you. How do you think you were able to build such a broad-based coalition, a coalition that perhaps we've never seen before in the state?
Well, I think maybe the state hasn't seen something like this for a very, very long time. And I think this is not an ideological election. It's not about Republicans versus Democrats, liberal versus conservative. It's about a process, and it's about a fiscal issue, and it's about the legacy of our city. Whether we're going to leave our future generations with a city that continues to be beautiful. It's hard for me to concentrate with cracking jokes in the back.
But you were able to attract a broad base of folks from all different stripes.
Right. We got people who never voted for me before, who never dreamed that they would ever vote for me. But they're with me because of this particular issue. And they're with me because many people feel that what's happening was not done in the right way. And now they see what the other side is willing to do just to, get their way. They spend over $1 million attacking me. And the reason they're doing that is because they can't debate us on the facts. They got to attack the person.
You have written that when you were going through law school in Loyola that you actually came to despise Ronald Reagan a little bit because of his policies. So how does it feel getting support from conservative Republicans, Tea Party Republicans, just regular party Republicans?
Well, listen, the polls show that I'm getting 40-something% of the Democrats, and that's important. Well, this is a nonpartisan election, and it's the first one that I've been involved in. And it's a different feeling because, people are not in it for ideological reasons. And so that kind of bias is not in this election. So I'm very, 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 very pleased. I'm honored to be a candidate and get support from people like that.
When folks voted on the rail project back in 2008, the emphasis of that was that it would solve traffic. We've seen that kind of transform a little bit into that it will provide jobs. Tell us about your plan to provide jobs to all those folks out there that are in such need of jobs.
Well, first of all, now everyone knows that rail will not ease traffic congestion. So the public opinion now has reversed itself. The majority of the people no longer support rail. The way we would provide jobs, we would step up the upgrading of the sewers, of the water system, repaving the roads. That's a lot of work, and it's work that our people can do. We know how to do that kind of work. We don't know how to do rail.
So you think that you could provide even more jobs than the rail project?
I'm not sure how many jobs that we can provide. I do know this. They said that rail will produce 10,000 new jobs a year, and they're not even close.
Thank you very much, Governor, and good luck the rest of the evening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So that's the latest here from the Cayetano camp. Of course, they're going to be waiting that second printout. The governor's still optimistic that he can make up that 5 percentage points that he needs to get above the 50% plus one threshold. So we'll see what happens, and he remains optimistic, Paula.